I'm shocked to hear there is a plan by the government to wind up KVDA. Up to this time, I don't know whether it is true. Up to this time, I don't know whether it is only KVDA or it is all regional development authorities. Among the several regional development authorities is KVDA. There is CDA, Coast Development Authority. There is Lake Basin, and so on and so forth. So I don't know, first of all, whether KVDA is being wind up. Two, if it is being wind up, I don't know whether all the regional development authorities will be wind up, and so on and so forth. I don't know much about all other regional development authorities, but I think I know, I have information, good information about KVDA. KVDA stands for Kerio Valley Development Authority. Kerio Valley Development Authority covers most of the counties in the North Rift. It is named Kerio Valley because of most of the Kerio Valley is within Elgeyo Marakwet. It is most of the valley. It is part of the Rift Valley, but that area that is called Kerio Valley, most of it is in West Pok. No, it is in Elgeyo Marakwet. But Kerio Valley Development Authority covers five counties, if we'll count. It covers Turkana, West Pokot, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Baringo. Yeah, it covers 5 counties. I first came across KVDA in 1985. And I really liked it. If there is anything that I've had positive feelings about it when I was in the civil service, it is KVDA. I know that regional development authorities like KVDA started before we had counties. I have known Kerio Valley for its a lot of development, even though most of the valley itself, most of the valley that is called Kerio is within Elgeyo Marakwet. But if you ask me, I would think, I would not be wrong to say that most of the development that has been done by KVDA covered West Pokot. It has really invested in that. This is not to belittle other counties, but it did a lot. If I go to West Pokot and remove everything that Kerio Valley did, West Pokot would be in the 18th, if not 17th century. It has done a lot in West Pokot. I think it has even done more than its fair share, because there are 5 counties. You'd expect it to maybe to have developed West Pokot in 20%, isn't it? 100 divided by 5. But I would place it at around 30, if not 33%. The first thing I noticed about Kerio Valley Development Authority is that they had this thing that is called Weiwei Irrigation Scheme. It must have passed me. Maybe when I get old is when I became critical in whatever. But I noticed a lot of Kerio development things, especially in West Pokot, Italian influence was there. A lot of funds used to come from Italy, used to pass through KVDA and so on. And they did the irrigation scheme so well. The Weiwei, there's a river called Weiwei. The Weiwei River, they showed that you can do irrigation without using a generator, without using electricity, without using what do you call electric pump, fuel pump, solar pump, or anything. What they did at Weiwei irrigation scheme is that I've never seen one thing, something called gravity irrigation. I've never seen. But what they did is that they saw a place where water went down, so that they grabbed water there. And what they would do is that they had this lock, such that the time they want water, they'll pull out the lock and the water just goes there without any any mechanic or anything. It just goes down the gravity. So when it goes down, maybe 2 or 3 chambers, then there is something. So the only manual work they do is that they control water that goes this way or that way, depending on. You see, if they leave it to go to somebody or anything, you'll find that some people may use more than whatever. So there is some people who used to work for KVDA who would control water. You get enough water to irrigate your farm, and then they do that. And if I'm not wrong, some of the best bananas in Kenya come from a place called Lomut within Sigor. So they used to do that. There were so many vegetables, especially kunde, and so on. That is what they did, and they gave a lot of Pokots farming experience and whatever. That is one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed about them, of course, they are the ones who financed the Turkwel Gorge. You call it Turkwel Gorge, but the proper pronunciation is Turkwel. Although Turkwel Gorge was done under arm twisting. You know, they were in the Ministry of Regional Development, and the Ministry of Regional Development was under Biwott, and Biwott wanted to develop those areas. Actually, Biwott used a lot of development in KVDA. Those are the days when he would pump a lot of money there into a lot of semi-arid lands, and he would say that we have horses and we have cows. Horses, if you set them to start running together, horses will. Is it horses and donkeys? Yeah, horses and donkeys. You'll find that if you set them together, you'll find that the donkeys are slower than the horse. So for the donkeys to catch up with the horses, restrain the horses and let the donkeys catch up. So KVDA was used in a lot of, but one thing I noticed about KVDA, even though a lot of funds were used in those things, but there was prudence, utilization of money. You know, funds. You know, these people who are close to the government, people who are close to the president, usually they have a habit of misuse of funds. But what I noticed about KVDA, when I was both in Sigor constituency and later on was when I was the deputy in charge of Elgeyo Marakwet, I noticed that they used, when it comes to proper usage of funds, it was also good. Another thing I've noticed with the government and other parastatals, but when you look at the government, national or even county, a lot of its expenditures go to, what do you call this type of money, which goes into payment of employees and so on. But you find that money that is used to develop or anything, no. A lot of money goes into paying of. You even get people are overemployed. But what I knew is that during my time there, KVDA utilized a lot of it, and they had the minimum employees that they are there. You'll also find that national government uses a lot of money for political purposes. They take political leaning programs. For example, we have shifting of government for a lack of a better excuse. Let me give an example that theoretically, that you may find that when Mrima was the deputy president, maybe funds were being taken a lot to the mountain area. Now that Raila has come in for a bread-based government, you'll find a lot of development going to Luo, Nyanza, something like that. I'm not saying it's happening, but I'm saying that is how political things happen. And even at the county level, you'll find that there are 5 directions in a campus. There is east, west, south, and north, and central. Those are 5. But the governor and the deputy comes from 2 areas. So you'll find the other 3 areas maybe are neglected or something. So you find that development in other government sections is skewed towards certain area. And you'll find that most of the development are for political expediency. You find that if you are the governor, you want, or even MP, you want to develop that side of your jurisdiction, which you think that they hold the majority of the votes and whatever, so that they'll vote for you. But what I saw about KVDA is that whatever they undertook, the word I was looking for, recurrent expenditure. You find that there was minimum expenditure on recurrent expenditure. Most of it were done on things which are, and most of the things that I learned about KVDA from 1985 is that they spend a lot of their energy and so on in passing on the information. It is like they knew one day they'll not be there. So you find that they teach the Pokot and whatever they are putting there. Like the mechanism I've said, the mechanism was there too. For if I can give an example of a place called Katumani. Is it Katumani or somewhere in Ukambani? Whereby some foreign country brought in a lot of piping and I think it was Bura, piping of water into an irrigation scheme and whatever. And then you find that an assistant chief is somebody who stole the pipes which were going to his sublocation and taking them to places like Nairobi to sell them at a throwaway price. You'll find that when it comes to KVDA, they were using very few things. They were using very few things which needs because there was no, first of all, piping. It is a cementing like this wall, which is made in a U formation. Then it goes that. So you'll find that it will spend a lot of time for that cement to end, and the water just goes that way. And then there is the doors. They called bullocks. They would place inside and block water from one. So those are the ones that wooden maybe are the ones which. So you'll find that after a very long time, there is very minimal repair. And I used to see even the way they were doing. They would let's say around out of the 10 employees in handling that water, whatever, they would have 7 employees, but 3 locals. 3 locals. I think because in that time when I was there, it was still a new idea. Either they wanted in future when they withdraw, it becomes a local thing, or the thing would have increased to an extent that all employees would be local. That is, if there is any government department that I can give maximum respect, is KVDA. I said that Turkwel Gorge, by the way, if you go to Turkwel Gorge, I'm a signatory to Turkwel Gorge as an observer, because Turkwel Gorge was money which was meant to develop 2 waterfalls, 2 electrical HEP power plants in Western Kenya, was Sondu Miriu and the other one was Nabuyole in Webuye. One was Sondu Miru, and the other one was Nabuyole in Webuye. So that money was taken. It was taken to North Rift. And when Turkwel Gorge was there was that problem, because it was being said that how do you make an HEP station in a desert, in a semi-desert, a place where it will take 9 months to fill in the dam, and then when you open the turbines, it will take 3 months to empty that. It will take 3 months to empty that. But the politics of horses and donkeys came in. But something funny has happened, and that is why I don't even want KVDA to be wind up, is that water level in Rift Valley is rising. We have so many schools, we have so many towns, we have so many which are now underwater. We have even the Kimwarer and Aror. I find a lot of people saying, "Oh, you are pro-Ruto, whatever." But I have been to Kimwarer, I've been to Aror. I know the place and whatever. Aror and Kimwarer and many places, including Lake Naivasha. If KVDA or any other body of that type can be there to dam up that water, you'll find that a place like Lake Naivasha and whatever, people have moved out of their houses. But if you dam that, you'll find that the water, the damming will prevent water coming, and then when it reaches, I'm avoiding using the word summer. When it comes to dry season, the water level will go down and whatever. A place like Aurora and Kimware is a place that we just need to place a wall there, and it will dam up that water. And if we don't do that, people downstream, their places will be flooded, and people will be asked to go elsewhere. So with places like those ones, which are not, in Rift Valley, so many places. We even have these hot springs in Baringo, which used to be hot spring, but when the water level rose, you see that water now cools now the hot springs. They cool them, and then whatever. So we really need a thing like the KVDA to continue developing that. So if it is true that somebody is planning to do that, I don't support that. I have been there, and I believe it is the best thing for the region.